Welcome back to another SHELL CTF 2022 write-up video. In this video, we'll be walking through the web challenge Extractor. Let's get into it. We are under emergency. Enemy is ready with its nuclear weapon. We need to activate our guards, but Chief, who had password, is dead. There's portal at URL below, which holds key within super user account. Can you get the key and save us? Okay, so bear with me on this one. The connection to these links is very finicky, and I'll have to keep closing and reopening the tabs in order to do this, but hopefully it won't be too confusing. Now, to solve this one, I assumed that it was a SQL injection, because if you go to the link, well, here we go. And you go to login, you have login information, and if you look at the source and everything, you can't really find anything out, so you kind of have to just play around with some SQL injections to see if you can get anything. But that being said, we can all go ahead and try something real quick. The usual good stuff here. Let's just see what that brings back. And sure enough, it brought back, I guess, a first entry in a user table of some kind, right? So you can use a basic SQL injection to kind of test to see whether this is injectable. And now that we know it is, we need to select essentially an admin user, probably. But we have to expose that somehow, and we can do that with a union injection. So let's go back to the login. And I actually followed this guide right here to basically do the process of SQL injections. So first off, we need to actually test for how many columns are there and if they're visible or not in order to see if our union injection will succeed. And in order to do that, I actually have a little notepad document right here, which I'll leave up as we go through this challenge, that has all the injections we'll need for this challenge and the steps that I did to solve it. So I first started off with a simple injection that'll give us the column count, and all you'll do really is you'll use this and you will just keep going up by one number each time until you get to one that passes through and prints out to password and signature. Basically, if this goes through, it'll be a valid login, essentially. But if we go to, say, 3 instead of 4, and the number of columns is 4, you'll actually get this error message right here. Selects to the left and right of union do not have the same number of result columns. So if we put an extra column there through our testing, we'll see that 2, 3, and 4 are all visible. So we want to inject on columns 2, 3, and 4, but not 1, because 1 does not show up. Excellent. That being said, now we got to determine what SQL query language we're using. And the easiest way to do that is just to use whatever version function that the SQL language that you're testing for provides. And we end up finding out that the SQL language is actually SQLite. And you don't need to actually inject password or signature because the username will pretty much do that for us with the union injection. So we log in with that, we'll notice that we get a version number here, which means that the SQLite version function worked. So we're dealing with SQLite 3 for our database language. All right, let's back it up. Now we need to, and if you follow the guide, you can see for yourself how the process here. We need to actually get the table names. We can skip enumerating the database name because it falls under the default name SQLite Master. Well, SQLite Master also just gives you all the databases in general, or all the tables in general. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, and we're going to use this table names injection right here. So as you can see here, I've replaced SQLite underscore version with group underscore concat and the table name. So this will grab all the table names and put them together in a string. And then, of course, from SQLite Master, where type equals table, because we do just want tables, and table name not like SQLite underscore mod, because those are default tables from the master schema of SQLite, right? We don't care about those. So we want just the custom user-created tables whenever they made their database, or admin tables that were made when they made the database. And we're gonna paste that in and click login. And it's not loading, so we'll try another one. Let's try. Okay, this, oh, wait, no. There we go, this one loaded. Let's hope it loads fully. Yep, there we go. So now we have table names, admins and users. So the one we're clearly going to want to expose and enumerate is admins, right? So that leads us to step 4, where we expose the column names of the admins table. If we back it up, let's see, we have union select. Okay, so notice that I changed the second column. You can also do the third and fourth columns if you want to, but the second column is the closest one, so that's why I used it. So we're going to do SQL from SQLite master again, where type not equal to meta and SQL not null and name not like SQLite underscore mod, right? Because we don't want those default names, because that'll just clog our injection. And I mean, really the only difference between here and here is that we replaced SQL here and added this extra condition here, and then we set the table name to admins. Okay, so this is going to expose our column names. And in the guide, there's even a way to pretty it up so they're in like a nice, neat list, but we don't need to do that. Doesn't matter. And as you can see, we have create table admins. We have an ID, so that's that first column, and that's why it doesn't show up, because it's not something that's being printed out. And then we have user, pass, and content. So we have our 3 values we want to expose. Now, that being said, the next injection is the easy one, right? Because we know that our injectable variables that we want to expose are user, pass, and content, which are basically the same as this user, password, and signature. If you were to submit a login here, you'll notice at the top here you have username, pass, and content. So it follows suit. Let's back it up. And let's actually use our union injection here, where we're just replacing these 2, 3, and 4 columns with the actual column names, user, pass, and content, and we're extracting them from the admins table. Let's get rid of that and that, not that it matters. And here we are. We have name admin, password hard to guess, and our signature is actually the flag, SQL injection basic XD. So we'll grab that, paste it in, and submit. All right, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Turn on post notifications to get regular injections of cyber content directly into your feed. Check out our Patreon, join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback or questions in the comments section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.